Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I have gotten inspiration for a video that I'm really excited about. I'm a big fan of Emily Noel. She's one of my favorite YouTubers to watch. I could just listen to her talk and talk. She's just so informative and genuine, and she recently was asked during a Q&A video if all of her makeup was stolen or disappeared and she had to start over, what would be 10 products that she would buy first. And I watched her, she did a whole video on that. I'll link it down below, definitely go check it out. And so I was doing my makeup the other day and I thought to myself, like, what would it be? And I started to put things aside, and let me tell you, I couldn't narrow it down to 10. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys all the things that as of this moment, if I had no other makeup and I needed to buy new stuff, what I would actually purchase first. Okay, so we'll go in order of how I actually apply makeup. The first thing that I would buy is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. It is not currently in my repertoire of makeup that I'm using, but I definitely am missing it. Can't wait to use up kind of the other ones that I've been working on so I can come back to this. This is just like a little tiny sample guide, but this to me is the easiest primer to put on my lids. It doesn't have a shade, it pats down really nicely, it doesn't create too much stick but just enough stick, so I really like it. And then the primer that I would use for my face that I would buy, which I'm actually really surprised by, but as it stands right now, I would get the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. I am someone who really over the past 6 to 9 months has found that I don't really like silicone-based primers, but for some reason, this is like the anti-silicone, silicone-based primer. It does a really nice job filling in my pores without feeling like slick or slippery, and I definitely feel like it does help create an even overlay compared to when I don't use it. I can see my pores a bit more, or I can at least notice that foundation sinks into them a bit more. So I would recommend this. This is what I would pick up first. It's also pretty inexpensive. I'm sure that that might change as I start to use other primers in my collection, but as it stands right now, this would be the one. For an eye base, I would pick up the Mica Beauty Cosmetics Eye Primer. This I am really finding now that I'm not using it, I really didn't understand how much I love this. This is so universal. It does not matter what eye look you're doing, this works. If you have any kind of veins or redness on your lids, this would easily cancel it out. And now that I'm having to kind of coordinate colored primers with my eyeshadow looks, I'm like, I just miss the simplicity of this. This is kind of pricey. I think it's like $20 or $30 on Amazon. It's the only place I can find it these days, but I would happily pick up another one of these. All right, moving on to eye stuff. The first thing I would do is do my eyeshadow, and I really went back and forth about this. I recently, after thinking about this video, went through my eyeshadow collection, and I was kind of like, oh, there's not like one palette that I feel like I'm like, I have to get this one. I would love to use this one, with one exception. I was like going through and I was kind of like, there's not one of these that I would be like, yes, I would like to only have you, and basically that's it. But there was one that I kept like coming back to, which I kind of felt like, oh, I'm a little surprised by this, and that was the Rock Mega Pro. I'm not gonna open this because I don't want to spoil where I'm at thus far with panning it, but I have to say, this was really an underrated item in my collection. But what I like about it, despite there being some shades that I definitely have already popped out and won't use, there are a lot of lid shades, which I like. There are a lot of neutral crease shades, which is also my jam. And then there are also some not too aggressive, but still fun, spice it up type lid and crease colors. So right now with where I am at with wanting versatility and wanting both everyday easy go-to looks, but also like some variety, this gets the job done. The only thing that's kind of missing in here for me, and this is a complaint I've kind of had in general since starting this palette, is that there aren't really a lot of like mauve, pinky lid shades that I really like. But aside from that, I can live. If this was all I had to work with for a while, it would definitely get the job done because there's just so much versatility mixed into this. As for eyeliners, I would pick up the Eco London Fat Liquid Eyeliner. Really, if I'm being honest, I'm not very picky when it comes to eyeliners, but this is the one that I have been using pretty regularly. I like it because it's basically just like applying a marker, and even though it's described as being fat, I can really get a thick or thin line with this super easily, and it's very nicely pigmented. It lasts all day. It's relatively waterproof. I don't have super watery eyes, but on the occasion that I have had a little bit of wateriness, I've had no movement, so I'm a fan of this. I would pick this up. I would also, no surprise, grab the NYX Wonder Pencil. Believe it or not, it to me makes a big difference when I line my waterline with a beigey, creamy type of eyeliner pencil. I just find that it helps brighten and awaken my eyes a bit more, which is what I like. So even though this might not necessarily seem like a necessity, I tried playing around without this and I really was sorely missing it. As for mascara, obviously I would have to get two because I am a diva, and they are both from Lancome. I have the Lancome Primer of Life, and then I would get the Monsieur Big. I know that there are lots of like drugstore ones that are also comparable, but I just keep coming back to this, and the combination of these together is just sheer perfection. So I would definitely spring the money to get both of these. And to be honest, if I only had to have these, I would be totally content and not like be seeking out other mascaras because I felt I needed to. I like to test mascaras, but I would definitely stick with these two first. All right, now that my eyes would be done, we will move on to what I would do to actually put together my face. The first thing I would have to have is my number 7 Instant Illusion Wrinkle Filler. This is what I put underneath my eyes before I put on my foundation, and it does help just sort of fill in some of the fine line wrinkle area that I have underneath there. So can't live without this. Anytime I have forgotten to apply this, my under eye area looks horrendous, so I need to have this in my life. I also, when I really thought about it, which again, I can't believe we're going to talk about this, but I would get the YSL Radiance Awakening Foundation. This is just so good. It is long lasting. It just stays on my face through thick and thin. I really like this stuff. I absolutely abhor how expensive it is, but if I was gonna spring for one foundation, and let's be honest, I would be devastated to have my entire makeup collection just suddenly gone, this would help ease the pain of that. I am in the shade BR10, which is Cool Porcelain. This is on my skin right now. It's just all around fabulous. Definitely recommend it. Then for concealer, I would want a brightening concealer. I fortunately don't struggle a ton lately with blemishes on my face, so I could get by without buying a like green concealer. Plus the YSL foundation does a really good job covering any of those imperfections, but I'd like a brightening under eye concealer. So for that, I would pull out the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I am in the shade Light Neutral, which is 15. This stuff is just really creamy. It does a really nice job. It brightens, but also really lasts all day and fills in those under eye wrinkles that I'm not necessarily a big fan of. And then lately, for a setting powder, I am like kind of resistant to this, but I have started baking my under eye area, and it has been an absolute game changer. And I have been baking with the original formula Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. It's in the shade Translucent Extra Coverage 07041. I don't know if it comes in other shades, but it makes my under eye area look so even, and it lasts all day. Before, I would get like a little bit of either like dryness if I would set my under eye area but not bake, and or I would also find that it wouldn't last throughout the day. So by like halfway in the day, I would start to see my concealer sink into my, fine line area. This stuff totally combats it. It also does a nice job setting like my chin area. I find that because I talk a lot, my makeup can break down here throughout the day, and by setting it with this, I don't have that problem. So this is a game changer, super cheap, definitely recommend it, would have to have it in my life. And then as far as the other face products to distract from the fact that I'm so pale, the bronzer that I would pick is current bronzer at the moment, which is Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is one of the ones that I feel like really pale, a little bit tanner, I can really layer this stuff up and it will give me just the right amount of warmth to my face, and it smells really nice. It blends really easily. Definitely would need to get that back in my life. For blush, hands down, it would have to be the Benefit Rockateur. This is a blush that I have to say, I'm really surprised that I don't have any like really noticeable dips in it. I feel like it doesn't even look like I use it that much, but I'm telling you, every single fall and winter, this is basically my go-to blush. As soon as I finished up my Balm How About Them Apples blush palette, all I wanted to do was use this, and I had to tell myself conscientiously, like, stop. You need to explore other blushes in your collection. I like this just because it has, one, a very complimentary rosy tone for my face, but it also has a little bit of shimmer, not like flecks of gold shimmer, but it has like a nice like sheen to it, which just further helps emulate this sense of like lit from within golden type look, which is especially helpful in the winter and fall when you tend to maybe look a little bit drier or not looking as dewy because it's just naturally drier outside. This just is really, really nice. I could probably wear this all year and wouldn't be upset about it. Had to have it. For a highlighter, this was incredibly challenging because you guys know I recently did my current favorite highlighters and there was quite an expansive number of ones that I love. But when it comes down to what I think would be really universal, and that's what I would want. If I was only going to buy one, I'd want one that I would be able to wear with a variety of looks. For that, I would go with the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Champagne Pop. This on my skin, it can pick up with a golden eye look. It can pick up on the goldenness of this. If I were doing more of like a champagne or like a pinky type of eye look, this would again pull a bit more to those colors. I just feel like it's one of the ones that can really be universal and also just be really flattering in general. So I probably would pick this over any other one to restart my highlighter collection with. To set everything, I would need to have a setting spray. For a while, I didn't think setting sprays were that important until I didn't use one just for the fun of it, and it was abysmal. So I would pick the Skindinavia, the Makeup Finishing Spray Bridal. This stuff literally is meant to like withstand anything that life can throw at you. I, one, really like the mister on here. It's a very light mist. It doesn't require you to spray it 15 times to cover your whole area, and it just literally locks everything into place. I really could go with any of the Skindinavia ones, but the one that I have right now that I've been testing out is the bridal one. And no surprise here, as I still contemplate whether or not I will be doing my own makeup for my wedding. But as it stands right now, this would probably be the one that I'd first go with. Whatever they had on sale or whatever they were doing a special with, I would want to pick one of these up. To end all of this, the last thing that I would want is a lip product. And many of you maybe won't be surprised by this, but I would be choosing my MAC lip gloss in Nymphette. This stuff, I have never worked through a lip product so quickly. I intentionally have forced myself to put this aside so that I can work on some of the ones in my collection that I want to use up before the year is over. But like, I don't think I can resist this much longer. It, for me, is a really nice tone. It has like that sort of gold sheen to it, which again, gold really works well with my hair and my complexion. So this for me is a pretty universal lip product to have, and I wouldn't get bored with it because I also love the way this stuff feels on my lips. Like, I feel like it just makes my lips look so like juicy and plump and everything I could ever want. So I would need to get this in particular. All right, guys, that is it for me and what I would get if I had lost, sadly, all of my makeup. I would love to hear from you. What are some of the things that you would immediately buy, especially for eyeshadow? I'd be really curious to know what would be like a go-to, like either eyeshadow single or eyeshadow palette that you would really be like, this is priority number one that I would have to get. But that is it for me. I'll talk to you guys in the next video real soon. Bye.